What's up, traders? Cam Hawkins here from Trading Nut. Welcome to the second ever live trading live stream here on the Trading Nut channel. We've got Master FX Shifu here, who was on episode 132 of the show, probably a year or so ago now. Anyway, he's here today and on a regular spot. So this is probably going to be every Tuesday, maybe a different day of the week, but we're trying to aim for every Tuesday at the London Open for him to give you a basically show you how he trades the London Open. So guys, if you do want to follow what he's doing after the show ends, and it's probably going to last for an hour, maybe even longer, I'm not too sure what he's going to do, but there is a link below the video where you can jump on the Trading Nut Telegram chat, and he's going to post the trade progress there as well. So if you missed this or you have to jump away, then definitely head over there. Other things that are going on here quickly before we jump into the show, we've got the Trading Nut Funded Cup demo trading competition. So if you do want to enter that, you've got until the 15th of April 2022. So links below the video for that, as well as Master FX Shifu's Universal Forex Dojo. So if you do want to learn more from him or something like that, then you can check that out after the live stream. So over to him. Here we go. Let's do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Cam. Good day, traders. Hoping that everybody's doing well today. Let's hop on to the live and see what we can catch today and hopefully get some pips in. Don't forget to drop some comments on the side, like the stream as well. And I'll just keep chatting with you guys until we are done with the stream. Awesome. So starting today, had a couple of setups that I was looking at from the morning, and let's see if any of them do trigger. And if they do, we'll basically jump on to the lower time frames, try to catch a couple of moves from it, and of course manage the trade effectively, just to try to max out on the setup, minimizing as much risk as possible, and taking it from there. Now, usually I always keep telling the guys that with our setups, especially with our signals and bootcamp, we prefer to risk 0.2% per trade and target 5R minimum and move on from there. And some might do a bit risk averse, so I'd advise them to move their stop to 1R as soon as price hits 3R, or maybe close half the trade at 3R or 2R. Just depends on your risk averseness, and we'll take it from there. And you can drop some of the pairs that you want me to look at in the comment section there, and I'll definitely hop on them and see if there is something to find, and we'll take it from there. So we've got some fans from South Africa, from the US over there. Good day, guys. Let's see what we've got. So prepped already. We do have CADJPY, which I was looking at, and it did hit our zone. So we are bearish on this setup based on smart money concepts, of course. So what we'll be doing now is just hopping on now to a lower time frame, either the 5 or the 1, just to try and find a bit of structure inside this and take it from there. And I see wants us to look at gold. We'll take a look at gold as well. So based on this setup, based on this candle on the far left, which I used, the OB which I used for this line up, price did get into the trade. I think this happened either during the Asian session or close to the close of the Asian session. And once we did have that, I was still in bed at the time, of course. But we do have a pretty decent move to the downside. And I'll be looking at this area over here to try find better stop loss range, better R to trade from, and take it from there. So usually, I like telling the guys that just because price hits your OB, you don't just want to sell from there. Your chances of striking out or getting wicked out are higher than normal. So you want price to hit your OB, and then from there you drop onto the lower time frames and find better structure on better OB, unmitigated OBs to work with, and take it from there. So I'm just going to hop on down to the 5 minutes on this one and try spot any good moves from there and which candles I'll be focusing on. Okay. So based on this so far on the 5, I'm really looking at this area over here. And that's an interesting area I'll be focusing on for now. And the trick, guys, is what I'll do is, of course, find my areas and then put alerts on the areas, on the lines entering the areas. And then when price does get into those areas, I'll just hop on, drop onto the 1 minute, watch price structure, see some break of structure, see some good lower highs, lower lows. And once that happens, hop in. I'd either use, depending on the pair, of course, I'd use this zone as my SL to have a bit of a wider space for price to move around, or I can still use the most recent high, which will be tighter but better R. All depends on how many trades I've got for the day, and we'll take it from there. So it'll either be this one, which would have 28 pip stop, or this one here, which would probably be half of that, which is about 11.7. So this is the first setup that we'll be looking at for the day. You don't enter immediately. Once price does get in there, we'll be looking for something like this, and then drop to the downside, up. And then once price holds this area over here, we're expecting it to break the zone. And then we'll look at something like that. And then, of course, use a zone in here. Sorry about that. Use a zone in here to drop off from. So that's what you want to see. So the more you are on the down, on the lower time frame, and you start seeing moves like this where price is actually moving to the upside and not giving you lower time frame structure, then you avoid the pair, give it some time, give it some space. It'll definitely come to you. Okay, let's see. I see Harvard says, can I show clear charts? Can you explain that? You mean clear charts? So I can understand what you're saying. Okay, hop on to the 1 hour. Oh, you want me to give you the setup from the beginning? It's not a problem. We'll do that. Let's look at Swiss franc and JPY. US Swiss franc. I'll just hop onto the gold setup from Nassim, and then we'll just look at that one from scratch. Okay, this is a clearer chart that we can actually start with, and you'll see just a basic approach. Okay, so with this one, you do spot your higher highs, higher lows, very important. And of course, your high, then you spot your massive imbalance over here. So what I'll basically do in simpler terms, just look at this zones over here. This one I wouldn't really look at because price broke structure over here. So which formed that high, dropped again, broke structure again. This is on the hourly, by the way. So we had something like that. So what that means now is we should expect price to basically drop down into this area over here, which would basically be our T-off area. And of course, drop into the lower time frame to actually get a better unmitigated OB, which should be around this candle over here. And then you've got your area. And then once you've got your area, looking like that, you do have a point of interest. You do have a zone that you want to trade from, and you'll take it in from there. There's also another area of interest I'll basically be watching. And of course, hop onto the lower time frames. So NZD Swiss franc, I thought it was gold. Anyway, it's the same principle with any pair that you trade. It's like driving a car. It doesn't really matter which country you're in. As long as you know your road signs, you know what's in the car, you can drive practically anywhere. I think that's the motto I use for all the stuff I trade. So you'd have a setup like this. So you either take this one over here, which would give you a tighter stop, or you can use this lows over here, which gives you a bit of room to work with. 8 pips. Hop onto the hourly. So there's your area. And of course, I have my alert. I see somebody can hear me clearly. Let me just add a bit of volume. How's that sound? Awesome. So once we do have this zone here, just add on your price. There we go. I hope the sound is fine there. Once you've got your price, you've got your area. We are waiting for price to basically drop down into the zone over here. And of course, once it does get into the zone, we'll wait for structure again from here, getting a nice confirmation to the upside, use one of those OBs and push to the top side. And remember, you can apply this principle on any time frame, which is what we'll be doing on this live here. We are going to drop to the 15 and look for better structure over there. Okay. And then we've got gold. So these are setups that you can follow even after the live. They're based on the higher time frame. And these ones, you basically want to manage them yourself because they do have wider stops. And of course, if you follow the principles we're sharing here, you should be good. Okay. So with gold, I'm just going to clear this area here just so we can look at it from scratch as well. Okay, so with this one, I looked at it from a higher time frame, looking at it from the 4-hour, and of course, just looking at this high over here. This high over here at the 64 zone, dropping all the way down to this 1895, pulling back to the top side, this high holding, and a drop to the downside. And then, of course, let me just open it a bit clearer. Within the structure, and that's where we found these ones over here. We did have a bullish move, which also did give a structure, of course, by the way. So I pull it up, pull to the downside. I'm just going to show you guys how we did this one over here. Hopping onto the down frame. What could be used as a confirmation for entry? Lower time frame structure is the best one that we use. We usually catch some nice setups from it. Sometimes price really does break your order block, which is meant to be broken. And when it does do that, it's a bit tricky for you. So yeah. Okay, so hopping on over here again, we did have a nice OB break of structure over here on the hourly. And once we got that, we should expect price to basically, it could be a fake out, by the way. So we expecting price to do that and drop again, breaking the structure over here on the hourly. And then, of course, you could use a zone here, wherever it turns, whether it's down here, up there, wherever it turns, you can use that zone as OB to use to confirm we have a second entry and drop from there. Okay, so those are the possible ones that I'm sharing until I get you guys to the specific one we'll be focusing on. Awesome. So you do see this upward trend over there, came down, breaking structure, invalidating this whole setup to the upside, meaning we are focusing on going downhill. And with that, we will be using this candle over here at the top side. And you can refine it further to have a better R. And even further, the better the R, the quicker you get into your break-even point. And once you get into the break-even point, then you can definitely mark your setup risk-free, which would basically allow you to maximize on your setup. So we'd have this setup over here, of course, going to the downside, potentially breaking that. And then we're going to go now to the lower time frame. Further in, 15. And now we'll be looking at the same setup that we saw on the higher time frame. Very same setup structure. Okay, there we go. This one will most probably trigger in the setup, in the live stream that we have here, and how we manage it will be very important. Okay, so we start focusing on structure. Of course, we saw it going to the downside, breaking structure over here, expecting it to drop here in the zone holding, which didn't hold. Got broken over there. So that's the first sign that we're looking for. And then once we're over there, we're expecting this zone to hold. We're expecting price, of course, to come back into the most recent OB, which should be below 50% of the zone over here. So anyway, below here, we are looking for an OB to work with on the lower time frames. And bear in mind that once you do have, once we are looking at 15-minute time frames, you really should be careful of the broker that you use because of the spreads. I mean, if you've got a 2 pip, 3 pip stop loss, and your broker's charging you 1 pip or more than a pip commission, then you'll definitely have a problem, because once your trade does trigger, it could get wicked out immediately. So you want to avoid that. I hope that makes sense. And then you can look at this region over here or this one over here. The reason why I'm pointing these ones out is because once you do drop into the lower time frames even further, you will find a decent OB to work with, just like this one over here. And then this one, you can go for the most extreme, and price seldom does go to the most extreme. It should be somewhere here. You can drop even further to like a 30-second and find a better OB, but we're using the regions there. And as you can see, even dropping onto the lower time frame, you can see structure giving you guys some decent moves from there. And like I said, when you start looking at lower time frames, you have ridiculously low spreads, 25 points on gold. And we both know that gold spreads are dramatically high with some brokers. And just looking at, I think it was, I'm not sure if it's Nicola. Oh, yeah, it's Nicola, the confirmation. So once you get into the zone, once price hits your stop loss range, you're looking for something like this. So price would basically drop into your zone and then start forming structure like that. Can you see that? This one has a break here, but yeah, if you keep watching it, you start looking at this behavior on the 1 minute. And from then on, you can use any of these zones to trade from, going to the upside, or if it's opposite, going to the downside. So that's what I meant when I said lower time frame structure. Okay, so with gold, we are still good on the 15. So that's what we're looking at. So we do have this zone over here. I'm just going to move it to the side here. And we've got this one over here. We are going to watch them both, by the way, guys. So once price does get into the stop loss range, we'll definitely focus on it and confirm our setup. Some people do use a Wyckoff in this and allow price to get in. Okay, there we go. So we'll have an alert. Let me just move this one right here, which should be the first one. And if it does dismantle this and keep going down, we'll be watching the second one. And then if it does hit your zone over here, definitely watch it some more and see if it does confirm our setup. And once it does, then we can definitely have a buy on it. So there's the setup that we'll be looking at. I'll be posting it on the Trading Night channel as well. Let me just mark it so that even if it does does not trigger on our stream, you can still follow it and manage it accordingly. Awesome. Okay. Hopping on to Euro GBP. So there's another setup that we looked at yesterday, actually, on our live stream on YouTube. We looked at it. It was based on the daily. So this one is another one that you can actually put on the side and keep watching it. So the reason why I marked it is because I saw it basically tanking closer and closer into our range. So if it does hit it during our live, we'll definitely watch it and see if we can get a nice trigger. Okay. And then I see, as Stuart is saying, your AUD's fallen off a clip in the last few hours. Yeah, that's why you must always try and confirm in the lower time frames. CADJPY, this one dramatically just went all the way to the top. If you check all the, let me just show you guys what he's saying. If you check all the AUD pairs, they dramatically went crazy in the last few hours, opening some major imbalances and just going wild. So yeah, that's probably why. Okay, NZD-JPY, this one will probably not trigger in this session, or you might even have a higher time frame. We might have to use this zone over here. So I'm just going to move this alert over here. But this simple basic structure, as you can see, move to the top side, retracement, broke structure, retracement, broke structure. Yeah. So we just keep following it and hitting as much of it as possible. CADJPY, we are still waiting for it to get into the zone. NZD-JPY, it's the one that we just looked at now. Euro USD. This one is also close to my area of interest. I'm basically waiting for it to come into the zone. And of course, we'll look at trading it and taking it up from here. Okay. This one will trigger now. So I think for now, we'll basically be watching CADJPY. If you guys do have pairs that you want us to look at on the lower time frames, just drop them on the side there in the comment section, and I'll definitely hop into it. And I think I had a chat with one of our students yesterday regarding there's an NZD Swiss franc setup that we got, which dropped down to just below, I think it hit 4R actually, 4R, and then retraced to break even. And I did mention that they should look at, once you hit your 3R or 2R, always move your stop to break even, always manage your downside. The upside will take care of it. Once you do get to 2R or 3R, then you can close a portion of it, take something for yourself. And of course, once you hit your 5R, then that's where now the Holy Grail is. And that's where you'd want to see a lot of your greens. And with that, with me personally, I prefer to hold it until it gets to 5R. I don't take anything before that, because that allows me to be profitable even with the lowest win rate. Say, for example, hit a 30% win rate, success rate, will still be profitable. So that's the beauty about waiting for your 5Rs. And then anything below that, then you need to consistently manage your setup, making sure that your trade is at break even. And I will take it from there. I see A21 wants us to look at Western Texas US oil. I'll take a look at that now. Okay, so top-down analysis as usual. Take your daily to see where the most interesting points are, which should probably be this zone over here and that high over there. So you'll probably be waiting for a break of this to have a trade from this area, or you could be looking at even a lower time frame, not lower. we look at this point here, push to the upside, drop down again. Let's see if we can actually get something out of it as well. Remember, we still have all our setups here where the alerts are. So if they do trigger, we'll definitely move on to them and have a trade set up from them. Okay. So with this one, could look at this. This is on my daily, by the way. So you'll probably get a better setup from it. And you can use this candle over here. So once price does, as you can see, it's trying to close off.
Fucking hell, why is this not working? Hello. Don't know what happened here. We've lost Mr. Shifu, FX Shifu. Just jumping in here, guys. Oh, I've got the TV on and everything. Hang on a sec. Let's see if we can get him back. So he's literally just completely dropped offline. I walked away to do something and come back and the thing's frozen. So what a disaster. Guys, let's see if we can. There's a stream stopped. Somebody's now saying the stream stopped. So let's have a look. Am I even on? No, the stream should still be going. The stream is still going because it's going on my TV. Let's see if we can get him back. I've sent him a message. I don't know if they've had a power outage or what's happened over there, but he's obviously gone offline somehow. He's not seeing my Telegram message here. So hopefully he comes back. Here we go. Now, yep. What happens? Okay, right. He's. Let's see if he's back in. He's back in the studio. All right. So let's get him back on. Are you back in here, Master?
I'm back. I don't know what happened there.
Your
But
microphone's
let
not.
me awesome. Let
Like,
me just share my screen there. There we go. Awesome.
don't think I can hear you, mate.
Back. Thanks, Cam. Let me hop on. Okay, I think we got lost on the US oil
Can
setup.
you hear us? Because we can't hear you.
Let me just add a bit of volume. Can you hear me now? How's my sound?
All right, we'll see. I don't know. Can you guys let us know who you can hear, and we'll just sort of make sure this thing's working. You can hear them. Okay, cool. I can't hear you, so I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, so you guys can hear me?
Ah,
Okay, perfect. I think it's just you, Cam. Just double check there, then we can definitely good. Okay, perfect. Just hopping on back onto US oil. We were looking at this OB here, which is an area of interest that we'll be trading from. And of course, drop it from there. So there's an area that we will be looking at. And of course, if you want to have a better stop loss range, but this means now that with this stop loss range, for you to break even, price would have to drop a couple of more pips. And then if you do focus on this one, now of course, price would have to drop less, and you will be targeting just below this break over here. There we go. So you'll be targeting it from that point of view. So that's how your setup will look. Now remember, like I keep mentioning, once price does get into the zone and you do see structure breaking down, then that's your cue to get in. But this doesn't mean now price will not get up to the zone over here and even higher. And if it does, that's when the second confirmation keeps you out of the trade and ensures that when you do get in the trade, you are doing quite well. You've managed it properly and you're good to go. So that's your US oil trade. Let me just add it here as well on the watch list. And remember, guys, it is a waiting game. You don't want to get in prematurely. You don't want to risk where you shouldn't be risking. And you'll be good. Awesome. And there was another one who requested NAS 100. Okay, so we'll be looking at this one here from Kosimpile Makanyi. There we go. And NAS 100 is also another of those setups that if you do get them right, you will be beautiful. But if you don't, it'll dismantle your account if you don't have proper risk management. And I keep saying, make sure that you don't risk too high, then you'll be good. 0.2%, which I usually recommend. It is usually 0.5, but I was only taking 2 trades a day. And then now at 0.2, we can take up to 5 trades a day. Maximum loss per day is 1%. And that's when you lose 5 trades in a row. Okay. So on the daily, we do see structure breaking to the top side. So you see taking it down over here, failed to break below this point over here, broke off the structure here, hitting these highs over here. So we should see a bit of a drop. I wouldn't advise getting in on this setup just as yet on the daily until you do have a formation of a low, until you've got something along these ranges, and of course a break of structure again. And then once you do have that, then you can look at getting into this trade on the daily, and then hopping now below on the 4-hour. So it's just a decent setup that was hit but it's already gone. So we should expect to break the zone over here. This is on the 4-hour, by the way. And once you do break the zone over here, your area of interest would be that zone here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. Sorry. This one was mitigated, so let's drop one below. I want to give you setups with US 100. Just take a look at them. There we go. So you'll be trading it from this, and this is based on the 4-hour, by the way. I'll also hop onto a lower time frame, and you could find even more setups within that zone. So based on the 4-hour, this is what you'll be waiting for. I see somebody's asking, does a bootcamp teach all the concepts? Yes, we do. We show you every single thing we do. You basically be able to trade the very same way we do and take advantage the way we do. Awesome. So now with NAS 100, this is what you'll be waiting for. Price should break the zone. Doesn't really have to be high. It can be high. It can be just above it. And once it does, you wait for it to come into the zone. And once it gets into that zone, drop onto the lowest time frame that you can do. And of course, drop it from there and take it up using lower time frame in this zone over here. So that's how you'll be approaching NAS 100 from a 4-hour structure basis. And moving forward, let's hop on to the 15. What I'll do now, let me just drop this on the Trading Night channel because I am going to raise it now. So I can make some room for a 15-minute time frame structure. If you can get into the Trading Night channel, you can see the setup on NAS 100. And then moving further into lower time frames. Let's hop on to the 15. Okay, this is why I don't like NASDAQ, by the way. All these abrupt moves that you find. All these, look at that. Massive. Anyway, hopping on to the 15. Let's see what structure is showing us. Okay, there we go. Okay, just doing a minor autopsy there, just looking at what price is trying to show us. And ideally, I think I'd want to wait for price to drop a bit further before I could consider taking the up move. Because of this massive imbalance here, it's just not as clean, as perfect, as clear as you'd want to see it. But it is giving you higher lows. And of course, you book into this range here. Okay, let's go deeper and look at price further in on the latest time frame. We are still in this range here. Let's go lower. Yeah, no, I think I'd stay away from the lower time frame US 100 because of that. If I'm going to trade it, I'll watch it get into this zone first, and of course take it from there. So it will look at something along these ranges and take it from there. So you can mark these setups just to keep them with you, so that when they do trigger or when they do get into the zone and wait for you to enter into lower time frames, then you will have that ready for you. I see MB wants us to look at US30. But plug, we did look at butt plug. Anyway, we did look at gold a couple of minutes ago. We do have a setup on it. We are waiting for price to basically get into either of these zones and look at price from there and look for an up move from that point. And then with the US30, I did look at US30 this morning. My side of the world, it is this morning. I know from other guys it's quite late. I didn't find anything decent to trade from. We caught this one, I think it was Friday into yesterday. But let's see if we can't find anything on the higher time frame. But on the lower, we didn't see anything decent. It didn't trigger for us. But here, you could wait for price to see if it does come back into the zone and push up to the upside, because we're waiting for it to break this level over there. But until it does that, there's really nothing much to work with. So I can actually clear up the charts so you guys can actually have a view. Okay, let's hop on to an hourly. See what to find in the hourly. Nothing there. Okay, let me move this into the zone. 30 minutes. This wick is pretty concerning to me. Pretty concerning, but yeah. Okay, so on the 30, you do have a bit of an area to work with, which is this one here. But now you are going to get very tight stops, by the way. But now once you get deeper into price, you see this minor BOS. It's not a 15, it's a 30. So I'll just edit it quickly. That. And then we saw the zone, this very sensitive area. So you do know that in this area here, we do have some beautiful liquidity just laying there, waiting for the taking. You know, that's eventually going to head for. In this breaker structure, you could have an entry in this zone over here, which will be a decent tee-off area to take it from. And then hopping now to a lower time frame, probably use, I think this is the most decent one, unmitigated one to use. And you can see price actually did turn at it right here. Okay, so let's see if we can follow this one and hop onto the lower time frame. Okay, that one is still fine. That OB you use there is still fine. It's roughly a 5-point SL range. So now what you're waiting for is for price to give you a zone that it failed to break and move to the upside. Retracement, not touching the bottom, a break to the upside, and then of course we have an entry. So that's how we'll be approaching it on the 1 minute. So until we see this, we'll just be waiting. Okay, so I'll have to add it. It's 30. There we go. Okay. And then I see Tony Teza wanted me to look at AMC. Dow Jones. Okay, let's look at the Dow Jones. Bitcoin. And okay, there we go. So London Open coming in shortly. So it should find some decent moves when that happens and see if we can catch any of them. CADJPY, which I've been waiting for, still playing around the area. Okay, US30 just got into the zone. So you do hop onto the 1 minute. Okay, there you go. So now it's at our area of interest. So now we need to watch what it does. So there are but three possibilities. It could turn now, go to the top side, give you structure to the top side. We could see it going even lower and then turn at the bottom, or it'll be an invalid setup. Only those three moves that we're waiting for. Yep, 20 minutes to the London Open. Okay, 27th Street wants us to look at GJ. We'll look at GJ. Let's see what happens on this one. It's a good sign over there. Okay. And I know with US30 tends to have those aggressive moves. So do have your setup ready for this one. And then once it does give us good momentum, we can have our stop loss and our target, which would be based on the 15 all the way to the top. Yep, let's wait. This is what professional Forex trader, professional trading is. Patience, 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 waiting for your setup to give you more confirmations. And I see Emily wants us to look at NZD Swiss franc, NZD CAD actually. We'll look at that. Okay, so I'm just going to put an alert. I'm going to put an alert on US30 here as well to just see if it does break that zone. Whilst I look at another pair, NZD and GJ. I did look at GJ earlier, and I didn't find anything interesting actually. Just this massive move to the upside, which I did not like. And it's been playing on this range here. Because I think we did get a trigger here, but we ended up hitting a stop loss because it didn't hit our on 1R. So yeah. That's the US30. It really wants our attention. There we go. So we do find our first up move. So now there's an area that we'd want to look at as a potential stop loss. So now we just need a good entry point. And for it to be valid, this area must hold. This area here must hold. So we need another lower, higher low. And then we'll take it from there. But if you do look at it from a higher point of view, the way we've been approaching most trades, as of course this will be considered as a POS over here on the 1 minute, and of course waiting for upper move structure. So let's see what it does. Email wants us to look at NZD-CAD. Okay, we'll definitely look at that. So both those pairs I'll look at, and GJ, of course. I don't forget about the GJ, but I'll just put those on the side for now until we see what the US30 is going to give us now. And because of the time frame, guys, remember we found this on the 15-minute, if I'm not mistaken. Your stop loss will be very tight, which means your break even will be close. So you can actually take a look at our Wushu toolbox, which does manage those for you. Once price hits 1R, automatically move stop to break even. Once it hits 3R, it closes half your trades and moves stop to 1R. So it's for you usually these very tight and quick moves. Okay. So now we see it trickling down a bit. Patience is key. Just don't let it run away. Okay, let's see how many. It's roughly 10-point SL range so far. Are you guys still with me? You guys understanding what we are doing? If not, just drop a question there. I'll be glad to answer it for you. So moving to the upside. Okay, we are still watching. Are you currently in the buy? Waiting for a buy, not in the buy, waiting for it to give me confirmation before we trigger and go in. Are these concepts, do they work on all time frames? Yes, they do. I think if you check our gold trade, I think it was posted last week. I'm not sure if you're in the Telegram channel. If you do check it out, you will see how we caught, I think it was a 15-minute setup on gold to the upside and 1 hour setup to the downside. On the same setup, I think it was. Okay, we're waiting for it to retrace a bit, guys, and then we can hop on. I think it was, let me just open the hourly. Gold is gone. Gold is going, and we are not going to catch this. But it's leaving a lot of imbalances here. Yeah, it was this one, where this was a 1 hour setup. This one here was a 1 hour setup. And then this was a 15-minute setup. So yeah, you can trade multiple time frames. I see US will sell at 34,930. Okay, until it gets there, let's see what it does. Okay, we did have a minor retracement. It's not really clear, but it is a minor retracement. We watch a break of the zone here, and we use this point here. You can use this one here as an entry, or wait for it to be like that. But you want this break as well. So let's see. It's not the number. Okay. Can you use Fibonacci to catch that retracement? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Remember, we're basically trying to show you concepts that you can combine with your analysis and the way you see trades. Okay, there you go. We should get something now. What's your confirmation on higher time frame? So what we'll do, Romeo, is we'll use, let me just open this chat here. He's asking what's a confirmation on the higher time frame. So we'll use the higher time frame to find a structure, use the higher time frame to find overall bias, and then we make sure that everything we are doing on the lower time frames, it does not contradict what the higher time frame is doing. For example, whilst we wait for the setup to give us something, if you have something like this, say on a 4 hour, okay, there we go, it's going up. We could trade structure inside this, knowing very well that this zone here is not supposed to be broken. So once we do get to this point, say for example, we already had this point here. Once we get to this point over here, we will not go bullish because we know this is an area that price is basically looking to come down and break structure based on these previous zones here. So that's what we are mostly looking for. Okay, there we did have a minor wick into the BOS, so you can actually start looking at a buy. Okay, so it's going to look something like that. There we go. So your buy stops right here. Remember, risk management is key. Always make sure you're good. Risk management is key. So buy stop at 34895 and then stop loss at 34885. And then let's see if it does work in our favor. do we sell a course? This is Pile. Yes, we do. We've got the Bootcamp, which you can find on our site, uniforexdojo.com. USD will sell. Okay, I see Chaos says USD will sell at 34,930. Can trade, no problem. Let's see what it does in that range. And guys, if it does break here, let's see. It is going to break. We are going to remove the buy stops and watch if we can't see anything that happens here. So the zone is broken just by looking at that. So what that means now is we invalidate this current setup and wait for price to give us more bullish momentum on the minute until we do get an entry. So let's keep watching. Patience is key. Patience is key. Okay. Buy stop, usually what we do, we try to use momentum as well. So we don't want to get wicked out. So if you do, for example, you'd have been wicked out in this trade. So we wanted to retrace a bit, put an alert at the top with this one, buy stop, of course, and then wait for price to trigger, and then use the momentum, of course. And of course, if you do find candles like these that break out of that zone, then you'll hit your break even before price retraces. I think if you check the interview we did on Trading Nut last year, you will see how or why I was talking about why we don't use limit orders, we don't use market execution, we prefer buy stops because we prefer to use momentum with the setup. Those are just some contingencies. Some people do use market orders, market execution, and it works for them. From my experience, it didn't work for me, so I removed that and I solely focused on buy stops. Okay, so now we do see it. It has broken this area. So we still want to see this area broken first. And once it is broken, we'll look for the very same setup that we're looking for here, where it retraces, forms a low. We use that low as an area of entry. So for now, you will remove this 34.9 and then wait for structure again. Okay, I see Nkosingidi says 2 or 5 trades, then you're done. Yeah, that works. It's actually good risk, good trade management skills. You don't want to overtrade. You'll always be good. We just make sure we don't go anything above 1% loss for the day, regardless of how we do it. Change of character, yes, but plug, you're onto it. Can I explain the reasoning for the buy on US30 at Humza? Okay, so we looked at the structure here. Let's see, where's the structure? I think it was below. Hold on, let's start at the top. Here we go. Go to the 30-minute. Drop down further to the 15. And the 5. Yeah. So we did look at, and I think if you do go back to the video, you'll see how we basically looked at price from this point. There we go. Yeah, using whack off, it is a change of character. The open is here indeed. Shucks, am I missing this? I think we are. Con. Did it lift us, guys? Man, you gotta love the markets. But you should still keep waiting for it to retrace a bit and then, of course, get into a trade over there. And once you watch this one, we do need it to come back a bit before we enter. Oh, it's gone. Okay. And then hopping on to, okay, I'm just going to put an alert here. When it does come back into the zone, we'll find a decent entry to work with, which will probably be this one here. Just have to keep an eye on it. It will retrace, yeah, but you know how US30 operates. I mean, once it hits those in the wind moves, I mean, it goes bolt on us. It'll literally just disappear. Okay, going back to CADJPY. This is a setup that we did look at earlier. And we're waiting for it to get into the zone. And once it does get into the zone, we are looking for the very same setup that we just explained on the US30. And then you'll see it going down. Yep, that sell on US30 was a trap. They do it a lot. Yep, that's why you always want to make sure you confirm your trades. Always make sure you do. Okay, CADJPY, we are going to be looking for structure to the downside. Once we start seeing this happening, it will be alert for us to come look for an entry point. And of course, we're prepared to retrace into it and tank with it. So until that happens, we're going to be watching it from a distance. Look at it go. This is, like I keep saying, one of the reasons why you always confirm your trades, because this lower time frame move is basically dismantled here, which means now we'll be looking at this bigger time frame move on this T-off area. So we should get an alert just now. I see paper says was almost caught in that US30 trap. Yeah, man. Confirmation of trades, man. Confirmation of trades at all times. There we go. Okay, seeing it coming back to the downside. Let's see if it does get there. If it does, we'll be looking for a buy. Very same principles. Wait for price to get into your zone. Have a little bit of structure to the upside, buy stop, and wait for that. You don't need to be wicked out. I see Emmanuel is saying US30 and NAS100 trades are prime for new sessions. That's true. US oil, we are still waiting for it to hit our zones. CADJPY. Alert sound is not soothing. Yeah, definitely not. But I mean, you can't really be on the chart the whole day. So we just keep them on. And when we're on the screens, we can watch. But if we're not, like when we're monitoring multiple pairs, we just keep them on there to know exactly when to go back into price and look at it clearly. But until then, they work. So usually when we trade our 1 minute, not 1 minute, 1 hour charts, we'd find that we'd wait for like a couple of hours before a trade is triggered. So that let's come in handy. Okay, so let's see what it does to the downside. So you can see now, it basically just wicked in a little bit into the OB, to the range, into the stop loss range that we want to work with. So it is a signal that you can actually watch it from here, from this time forward, see if it does either go deeper in and start giving you structure to the downside, or it can start giving you structure to the downside from this area now. So we just watch. US30, let's see it. Look at that massive wick. So what I mean when I say US30, when it does move, just like NAS100, when it drops like a massive falling safe. Okay. We just have to keep watching it until it gets into a zone. Until then, stay away from it. No need to risk too much. GJ. Okay, let's see GJ. We'll also wait for this. We do have our alerts there. CADJPY, nothing to the downside. And you can see there's a number of imbalances left on this upside here. So if we could find something decent at the top, we could basically catch it, mitigating all these all the way to the downside. I see boss says GJ. Let's take a look at GJ. Look at that nice decent move to the downside. Wait for retracement, let that zone hold, downside again, then entry. Until that happens, stay away. GJ, I think I did talk about GJ. Yes, I did. I did mention that it's been in this range for a minute and we don't like it at all. So we try to stay away from it. And I see A24 said they purchased the bootcamp. Oh, yes, you will. You'll definitely get an email with access into the private Discord channel where you'll find the strategy, the prop firm massacre, all other videos, and you'll definitely be good. Solomon Verger, GU. Yeah, this one kept fading to hit our entry here. But just keep the chart in mind. Let's look to see what CADJPY is doing. If we are getting any momentum to the downside. Nothing yet. US30 just turned right at our alert here. Just keep watching. But this is structure that we are looking for. Look at that. So we broke structure here. Price came to the downside. So you'll probably see it going back up again, breaking the zone here. And once it does break that zone there, that means now area of interest, our point of entry would be this OB here on the 1 minute, but only if it breaks this zone here. So until it breaks the zone, this is still valid. We are still looking at this area here. So we'll just keep watching. Okay, let's just keep watching. The stream is going to end shortly as well. But that's fine. We are watching the setups. So if you are on the Trading Night channel, we will be posting them. And yeah, you can follow them on the channel and you'll be good. Yes, Jason Haynes, that's a good tip. More for your fundamentals. I know people that look at the COT as well. And it works for them. It works pretty good for them. And yeah, it's a good one to look at. I see Pepe is asking if we have this every morning. This is gold. We're going to have the one with Trading Nut every Tuesday. And then on our channel, on the Forex Dojo on YouTube, we have it every morning. You can hop on that, subscribe, and definitely keep track of some of the free setups we post. And then, of course, premium channel, we post everything we do the whole day. We run our setups from London up until halfway through the New York session. Follow back to CADJPY. Okay, so we do have our high. Beautiful. So let's see if this one does play out. If it doesn't, that's fine. Just keep monitoring it. And once we do get a good trigger, we'll post it on the Trading Night channel. So let's keep an eye on it. This is gold, guys. Just take note of that from Jason Haynes. Patience is key, guys. Patience is key. Hey, let's go in the bags. Definitely, Phoenix. Let's definitely go. If it does break that zone on the 1 minute, restructure again, go deeper into price, wait for it to give you beautiful structure. And then US30. Okay, nothing as yet. Let me just remove this just to make it clearer. Have a bit of a neater chart. Yes, so my trading at the beginning, you would have seen how messy my charts were. There was just notes all over. Okay, and then CADJPY. So right now, what you do see now is the zone is holding on the 1 minute. We did have a BOS over here, retracement. If it does break this zone, we are going to have an entry using one of these candles to the downside. I see. Then this is why you focus like 10,000 pairs. I think I mentioned at the beginning, we look at, let's see, I think it's 30 pairs, 32 pairs. We analyze and we pick the most probable trades. Of course, once you do get the most probable trades, we do have to confirm and catch 1 or 2 a day. So it doesn't really matter what to trade. What matters is the way we approach the market, whether it's Bitcoin, US30, US100, it honestly doesn't matter. DJI, I mean, we caught this beautiful DJI, I don't know if it was last week or something. Just show you here. Because of the very same principles we applied on gold, Euro USD, it's 15 RM, gold, Euro USD, or yeah, can even trade sugar if you could. Okay, what do I say on the... Okay, so now we see US30 breaking down into the zone. Hop on to the 1 minute. Now we watch. I see James says, how do you get hold of me? I can just drop onto the TradingNet channel. You'll find some of my text there. You can text me there. I'll definitely respond. Okay. Also, it wants us to look at gold. We did take a look at it. So if you do just scroll back to the beginning of this video, we do have gold on that. Guys, don't forget to like the stream. Please like the stream. And yeah, it'll give us more reason to keep doing this. Let's just keep watching. Yeah, this one's going to be playing with our emotions. Okay, let's check CADJPY. Okay, there we go. Now we're looking at something. But now it's forming a bit of a range. So if you aren't really clear on this one. Okay. We did have a BOS over here. This zone is holding. This one should hold. Let's wait for it to just go a bit lower. And then once it does, we could have sell at this point here using this candle here. And of course, you'll be on the safe side. You can use the OBSL here at the top side, which would give us something decent like that. Okay. There we go. So you could have your sell stops triggered there. Which is 17 pips, definitely. Let's look at that. So you can follow the setups on the Telegram channel, and then you'll be good. Yep, it's not about how many trades you're right or wrong. It's how much you make or how much you lose. Simple, that's it. That's our basis. I remember doing one of the prop firm series with one of our students, whereby right now he is focusing on literally just catching the 5 Rs. And I mean, with the 30% win rate, you're still able to hit your 10% mark. So it doesn't really matter how many trades you lose, but the ones that you do win, you have to really take as much out of it as possible. So don't get out of your trades too soon. Stick to your rules. I see a lot of traders that adjust their stop losses, and it's really not advisable. I mean, if you've got a stop loss, you put it there for a reason. And if it does hit that stop loss, then that's it, man. Focus on the next trade. Still have some time to go. And if you are using approach where we risk only 0.2% per trade, you'll be good. You'll definitely be good. Okay, so this is a setup that you can follow. We are going to end the stream now. Drop us a text, like the stream, check our YouTube, check our Telegram, and you will get hold of us. And until next week, Tuesday, adios, guys. Oh, and tomorrow you can watch the rest of our streams for the rest of the week on our YouTube channel. Do you guys have anything else you want to ask or share before I end the stream? You could do this. This is a good approach. But remember now, as much as you are looking for a buy, you're always trying to make sure that your trades are confirmed and you are operating from an OB and you are still in the bias of the higher time frame. That'll help you a lot. It'll make sure that you're not wicked out. It'll make sure that when you do catch the higher time frame moves on the lower time frame structure, you do get higher R's on it. Yes. Always make sure of that. I see 777 Trader says drawdown. I don't understand what you're saying. Can you just rephrase that? Anytime, Zen. Anytime. See you guys next week, Tuesday, on the Trading Night channel. Will definitely be good. Happy trading, guys. Cheers. I see 777 is saying we're shorting CADJPY and it's going up. And yeah, that's the reason why we use stop orders. If it does really trigger and continue going to the upside, we'll not be caught in that trap. And yeah, but keep following the trade and let's see how it plays out. Awesome, guys.